Cubeatz, some of the best sample makers that have been running the game forever. Today I'm showing you guys one of the best techniques to capture their type of sound, that dark, gritty, vintage. Very easy to replicate, and I'm showing you guys in this FOP in this video, so let's get straight to it. So the first mode I have, I'm going to be showing you guys how to take this very basic melody and turn it into this. So to get straight to it, it's a lot more simple than most people think. It's very basic. You gotta have some decent effects, and then it's all in this one trick that they use in almost all their samples. So to first break down the actual melody, what I did is I had Contact and I used Ethno World. Now Ethno World is very old. It's like a classic Contact bank I've seen, but I decided to pull it out for this type of sample because I feel like it has the best ethnic type instruments, and I used this preset right here. The chords that I used were these 4 chords and then just this little end stuff right here, and I was basically just playing stuff on my MIDI keyboard. That's why everything is so out of the ordinary. Everything's like offsetted a lot, nothing's on time, and the velocities are crazy. But that's a really important part that people sleep on, is they have their melodies and their sample too perfect. Everything is too exact, too quantized, the velocities are too perfect, and it's just not going to sound good and realistic, and it's not going to have that Cubeatz sound. So I have some chords playing. Here's how they sound raw. Now everything is off time, everything's on a different placement because I knew I wanted to add halftime. So as the effects on here, I have a very simple halftime and a retro tape. And on here I have the default preset. I just turned the noise up, I turned some of the aging up, and this is just making it sound a lot more old and gritty and vintage. Halftime, obviously slowing it down, and here's how it sounds with the effects. So now you can see how it starts to get closer to that final product and how it's starting to sound a little bit better. Now all I did is I rendered that into this audio right here. You can just see it's a little bit faster. This was at 135 BPM. You can see here it has the BPM labeled. Lastly, all I did is I just took that and I just took different chops of it. As you can see, I have a bunch of recordings over here on the left hand side. Once I took all those chops, put them together, this is what I had. Now there was one last thing that I did before I got that final outcome, which is what I see them do a lot in their samples, and it's messing with the time of the sample. Now you can do two things. You can make the sample be halftime, so it's a lot longer, slower, or you could double time it so it's a lot shorter and faster. For this one, I ended up doing it the reversed way, so I put down the melody at a lot slower BPM. Once I chopped it up and I had it all ready to go, I sped it up, which is the final outcome that you guys heard. But originally it sounds like this. So the last thing I did is I went from 135 BPM all the way down to 93, and like I said, with the time multiplicator over here, I just double timed it so it was double the speed, and then you had the final product. As far as the effects on here, I had some pretty simple effects, but they were very crucial to this sample. I have an EQ, just raising the highs, but the most important one was this tau filter. If you guys know Cubeatz melodies, they love to add some sort of a volume gate, so I decided to do that with the tau filter. I have a limiter kind of just compressing and controlling the levels and the volume of the instrument since it's peaking a lot. And then last but not least, the most important part is I actually changed the notes. Now I did this using Melodyne. All I went in here is I recorded the audio that I showed you guys earlier, and then inside here I just changed some of the notes. I exported that, and then that was basically the final recording, which is right here. Now that's pretty much the main element of the sample. That's the main core, the main foundation. After that, I just added little textures and little instruments to basically just finish off the sample. The first thing I did is I added this flute. Now this flute again is from Contact and it's from the Ethno World again, and I use this Irish flute right here. I selected one of the key switches, which enables a lot more of a shorter, tight note, and I have a very simplistic yet catchy pattern. As far as the effects, I have very simple effects, just a delay on here and then a little bit of reverb using Valhalla plate, and then lastly a retro tape, making it a little more old by using this age scroll wheel right here. I did some panning, so the original guitar or like whatever instrument that was that I showed earlier is panned to the left, so the flute is panned to the right, so they have their own little pocket in the final sample. I added some noise. This is from AYN, just very basic noise. Moving on to the second half, I took the original guitar recording, I just sped it up to be, again, even faster. Now the last one I did the opposite. I half timed it so it's slower and I pitched it down an octave. Now that was obviously very dry. It sounds very empty and just quiet, and that's because I wanted to add more layers on top to kind of add a little more of a unique section at the end. So I kept the noise and then I added 2 more layers. Now I added a guitar. Since I already had a guitar or whatever instrument that was, I'm gonna just call it a guitar because it kind of sounds like one. I want to add another guitar like melody on top. I just didn't want to, just to speed up time, I just wanted to add a phrase. So I use this one right here. And this was perfect because I could just easily drag and drop it because it has the key labeled and it's tempo synced, but it also captures that Cubeatz type of vintage dark sound. So it's really easy and quick for me to just drag and drop. And if you guys want this phrase, it's inside the Prophet Gallery kit. This whole kit comes with 200 phrases with the Rev 2 and Chroma console, but it comes with a little guitar folder with an additional 100 guitar phrases. So I really had a bunch to choose from. If you guys do want these, you can get them in the first link in the description down below, or I'll have the product tagged on the screen right now at the bottom left or right corner. But I dragged it on here, and then for the effects on, I added nothing. Like I said, the sound selection was already perfect for me. I just matched the key and then it was a lot slower. Lastly, to add on top, I went into Analog Lab and I went into the Coding Files X Analog Lab bank, and I selected this preset right here, Fear No One, and then a very basic melody. Since I am using a multi-key preset in here, it has multiple notes playing and a bunch of cool automations, so even though it's a basic melody, it's going to sound a lot better than to have it on a regular, just standard preset. These presets add so much to it that you don't really have to do a lot on the MIDI side. If you guys do want these presets, there'll be the link in the description down below, or I'll have it tagged on the video again as well. And you guys can actually get the whole Coding Files bundle, Coding Files X, Coding Files 3, Coding Files 2, and also Coding Files 1, all in one pack, one bundle for a cheap price compared to the original price, which is like over $100. But lastly, on the effects, I had nothing on here. Like I said, good sound selection saves you a lot of time. And then this is how the final part sounded. And then loops back into the first part. Again, nothing too much going on in this sample, very simplistic sample, just like a lot of Cubeatz' main hit samples. Lastly, a sound shift on the master, changing the pitch, and then a soft flipper making it a little louder, and then this was the final sample. But anyways, man, that's pretty much it for this video. Hope you guys did enjoy and learn something new. It's very easy to replicate these Cubeatz type of sounding samples. If you guys want a deeper, more complex tutorial with a more full sample, a lot more layers, and even more in-depth with the sound design process, let me know in the comment section down below and I'll get a video like that out ASAP. If you guys want any of these kits on the left hand side, like the Prophet Gallery where I got the phrase from, or any of the Coding Files kits or the bundle, it'll all be the first link in the description down below. With that being said, hope you guys did enjoy, and I'll see you guys in the next video.